Dragon Market is a fairly abstract game published by Blue Orange. It is a game of sequential movement of sliding game pieces. It reminds a little bit of that old game Labyrinth. In some editions it's called Magic Labyrinth. You know, the one where you move the walls to change the position of the corridors, of the passages. Well, here's more like you are actually walking on the walls for reasons that you will see. The theme is, well, there's this market that entirely takes place on boats, and you're jumping around, picking up stuff and trying to complete orders, but you do not jump over the head of the boat people because that is just rude. This is what the board looks like. You have these game pieces that come with little boatmen and boatwomen attached. Some are attached in the center of the boat, some on one of the edges, and you will place tokens on them randomly. The tokens come in pairs, and you place two stacks or 2 tokens. You have to match them on each boat, and you do it sort of randomly. Then also these boats are placed on the board by the players before the game starts. So each player places a boat, so it's sort of like you work together to create the setup, and you probably already want to try to further your interest if you can. We said that we are trying to complete orders. There are 2 decks of cards. One is for the basic game and one is for the quote-unquote advanced game. In this game, if you play with this version of the game, you only use this deck of cards, and basically each time that you collect all 4 items indicated on your card, you score the card, you put it face up in front of you, and when you complete 2 of them, you win the game. The advanced version, you need to complete 3 cards, you have fewer icons to complete, and also you get a benefit indicated by the icon here, and the explanation of what the benefits are is on the back of the rulebook. You can pause and enlarge the image if you want to read more in detail. So suppose that I'm trying to collect these things, and that I am the pink player. Players start at the 4 corners of the board on those pontoons there. Other things, you move, it's a roll and move, but it's a roll and move with a little more control. Use these dice that actually only have 3 and 4 on them, so you don't have the wide range or random numbers you have when you roll regular 6-sided dice, 3 or 4, so you know it's gonna get a 6, A3, so A6, A7, or an 8. You roll the dice at the beginning of your turn, and that's the number of movements that you get. Each move will allow you to move your person orthogonally, but only on a boat. Your person does not like to put their feet in the water. So there will be one move. For a move, you can also move a boat, any boat, by 1 space in the direction. Not you don't side steps with these boats because that look weird. So just in the direction of the narrow edge. So there will be my move number 2. Does it make sense? I don't know, but I just did it. And this would be my move number 3. For a move, you can also rotate a boat by 90 degrees around its boat person. So that would be 1 move. Or if I were to move a boat with the boatman in the middle, then this would be 1 move. And that's simply how it is. That's how I jump from place to place, and lo and behold, I just collected an item that I needed. When I get there, I collect it. I put it there. Again, you don't jump on the head of the boatman because that would be rude, but you can totally jump over the head of your fellow gamers as long as you don't end your movement there. Sometimes you have to do it because they're sitting right on the token that you need and they cannot block it, so the tokens are always accessible. And that's pretty much the idea. Picking up tokens that you need, you can pick them up only if they're on your card and you don't have them yet. It's for free, meaning it's part of your regular move, and that's how it is. Oh, if you don't want to use all of your movement points, you can bank them and basically transfer and collect unused movement points in the form of coins. Suppose that I only use 4 of my 6 movement points, then I take 2 and then in a later turn I can spend 1 or 2 coins to add to whatever I rolled and simply use those as regular moves. We go around. When you have all of your items, you need to make it back to your starting point. Then you drop off the tokens, you score your card, you draw another card, and you continue like this until a player has collected the number of cards required to win the game. Dragon Market. So it's a simple abstract game. It looks really nice. The production is impressive with those boats and the little hats of the people that are driving, is that the word? That are conducting the boats. It just looks really nice. The production is absolutely excellent. Those thick tokens with the goods, etc., etc. As for gameplay, it's simple, it's linear, it's a little bland, frankly. That's sometimes you like a little more spice there. And because of that, actually makes me wonder who the actual intended audience is. Families, I believe, meaning children and adults. But children really struggle. Children really struggle to play, really struggle to see so many moves ahead. I played the game with my daughters that are now 7 and 9. Heck, when they turn the boats that turn by 90 degrees, the ones with the boat person all on one side, they struggle to keep it in the same square. They're just rotating the same square 99 times out of 98, really. As they turn it, they slide to a next square. They don't do it on purpose, but you have to redo it every time, which is frustrating for them more than it is for me. And again, with the little fingers and little movements that are not as fine-tuned as ours, then very often as they move the boat, the tokens don't fly, but they fall, and again, you're spending some time putting them back together. The production looks nice, but maybe actually those tokens were a little less glossy, they would slide less, and the game would be more child-friendly. So for children, it's fine, but it's almost a little too complicated. It's simply in the execution, not in the performance of the game, not in the rules that are absolutely linear and clear. And for adults, for adults, then it's a little too linear, a little too simple, too bland. I haven't tried playing it in a very adversarial way, but again, I wonder what would happen if you were to constantly try to undo the moves of the opponent. As they do something, you do the opposite. With 2 players, that would be super annoying, but the rules apparently let you do that. So I can say don't ever play with people that do that sort of thing. Don't ever really be in the same room with them. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life, but the game would allow that kind of like nihilistic time reversing gameplay, which is super annoying. With 3 players, I guess that's less of a problem. But I haven't tried it. I don't know if it's a problem, but games where you can move anything, and there isn't a rule that says you cannot undo the other player's moves, that is always a possibility. As is to me, that's not, however, the main problem. The problem is that there's limited gameplay for adults, just a little too light, a little too bland, really. It feels like, you know, those like imitation crab tofu, imitation meat tofu that still tastes a little too much like tofu and not about the thing they're pretending to be? A little bit like that. It's not a bad game. I was mildly entertained, but I now had the tingling down the spine when I was playing it, and I saw that with kids it just doesn't work as well as I expected it to do. So Dragon Market, it's an okay game, but it's a little too complicated for kids and possibly a little too hard, too easy for adults, which, well, narrows its audience quite a bit, doesn't it?